Okay, so it's Thursday, the 8th of September. This is day 5, I think, of the project. And what we're doing today is we're continuing on from yesterday. Weather's been, well, it's okay at the moment. Yesterday was a bit of rain. Continuing what we were doing yesterday, so we're cleaning up the cairn, ready to do some final bits of planning on it before we start looking into the antiquarian trench. We're hoping to start removing stone, certainly by lunchtime today. Other things we're doing is we're doing some recording. Recording is very important in archaeology because there's often an emphasis on digging holes in the ground. We have to remember that excavation is inherently destructive. You're actually destroying the thing you're actually trying to discover, if you like. So recording, taking photographs, drawing plans, writing context sheets, descriptions of different things that we encounter. We'll be carrying out sort of later today. We're continuing an excavation from last year, which was put in order to identify a possible ditch which may run around the monument. And this is quite important because it's quite likely that if this is a ditch, of course, the first thing, that we may be able to identify material culture which could date the actual monument itself.
We are removing backfill that went in last year, getting back down to where we were, back down to the natural, gone through the plough soil, down to the natural. It's quite dry and gritty, this bit. We've got to do that back to here because this is the trench. Are we looking for the ditch? The ditch! It isn't there. The Gary's ditch.
As you can see, people are cleaning up on the monument, especially around the area where we think the antiquarian trench is. And we're going to record this once it's cleaned, photograph it, fill in context sheets, provide a written description.
Okay, this is the area that I've been excavating over the last couple of days. The area where I am sat at the moment is the backfill, the area that we excavated last season, 2010. To about here was the backfill, so I've taken it down, exposed the section sides here and behind me. And then we overshot the trench by about a foot. So what I also did was uncover, through archaeological excavation, the rest of the trench that you see now. So from about here onwards, you can see these section sides. And what became apparent very quickly is this orangey colour that you have here is highly compact. They're using it to compact in between the big stones that face the cairn, and I think it's probably holding it in place as well because it was like packing out cement. We've had a few finds. We had like a bronze button. It looked quite 19th, 18th century, that kind of thing. So the intention is now, once this is finished, taking out the plough soil just at the bottom here to expose the rest of this orangey deposit, and then we'll record the area.
Well, we don't have really change interpretations. What we actually have is the monument itself is this, you can see the stone behind us, and we've got this very impressive curb, which is not particularly unusual for what's called a curbed cairn. It's a monument which dates from about 2000 BC, but it's incredibly well preserved. The curb is all upstanding, you can see the stones behind it. There's a lot of questions about this. One is this material at the front of the curb, which is actually holding the whole thing in place. Now, what we don't know is whether this material has been intentionally placed there in the past, at some point in the past, possibly in prehistory, whether it's material which has fallen off the mound, which seems unlikely because it's packed very tightly against it, or whether it's material that has a result of ploughing. We know that the site has been ploughed very close to the monument in the recent past and probably in the quite distant past as well. Whether this is just cast over material, stone that people have removed from the plough soil and thrown against the monument. So that's yet to be decided.
Kablamo! Excuse me.